All right, welcome everyone to what may very well be the final interview of season 18 of PGL. Today, we are certainly have someone who you could say last but not least about. We have Eltrys, someone who is a multi-time PGL champion, which is obviously his most important achievement in both seasons 4 and 7. There's this other little thing that happened in 2023. He just got day 2 at, Worlds. No big deal. Just the VGC Worlds, the just massive VGC tournament, kind of the most important one around. As one of his other accomplishments that, I thought maybe worth mentioning. And also, where Holotos got top 4 in DL Worlds, he got top 8, actually got knocked out by Holotos. So very funny when us PGL coaches meet each other out in the wild. Eltrys, how are you doing today?
Hi, hello everyone. I'm doing great, and I'm ready to talk about Pokemon, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Hey, that's short and sweet. I like it. Glad to hear it. Happy to talk Pokemon with you. I'll be honest. I've been really looking forward to this one. It's built up in a way. It's like a good finale because there's been build up. So I don't know how many of the other interviews that you've been watching, but
All of them.
beautiful. Love to hear it. A lot of people have mentioned you when I ask what are the scary or exciting teams. A lot of people are calling you out. They know the way you like to build. They know that when you get the mons you want, you are terrifying. And then also, we had official, quote unquote, power rankings come out recently. And in opposition to what everybody's saying, you were ranked, I think, relatively low in those power rankings. So very interesting dichotomy of what's going on. So we'll jump into your team. I want to know what you were thinking with your first couple picks, what you were thinking going into the draft. I know you had a vacation, so maybe you had to kind of make some hasty picks, maybe not be able to plan as much. I don't know exactly what was going on there, but let me know a little about the Rotom Wash and maybe the Sylveon.
Yeah. So when I first saw the board, I was looking at the top tier mostly. Stuff like Feraligatr, Armarouge, Aglon Mega, etc. And I just felt like everything there had at worst even or maybe even a slightly losing matchup to Rotom Wash.
Yes.
I just thought that Rotom Wash was the best glue Pokemon you can find on the board. It has so many good matchups. He has Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, everything you need to just be a little annoying Pokemon that can ruin pretty much every high tier. And then after that, there is my favorite role in Hall of Pokemon is a bulky fairy type that can be a cleric. So there is quite a lot of on the board actually. I wasn't pressured to pick on a Sylveon, but I think it's the best at this job. It hits very hard. It can Wisp Bash, it can Heal Bell, since we are in net decks.
Yes.
So it felt way too good and way too comfortable for me to just pass up on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's honestly a disgusting round 1 and 2. And I really like, you see a lot of people, they like to draft power, things they've never used before, as their first pick. But you did something that I think is a really strong way to go into a draft. Look at the top few tiers. What beats my opponent's top tiers? And I think you addressed that really well. You have that Rotom Wash that really just kind of completely shuts down a lot of the other first and second picks. Obviously, there's an Ogerpon, there's a Hydrapple, a Sceptile. A lot of the grass types went round 1, which is kind of weird. But other than those, Rotom's super good. It's a fantastic Gloomon that I would say some people want their first pick to be more of like a centerpiece, but I think in low tier, Rotom Wash could absolutely act as that. So I love those picks. Big fan of the way you drafted. And then as you went, I see a mixture of some kind of bulk and offense. So I see, before we get to the Terra Captains, there'll be their own discussion. You've got the Simeon, the Mudstale, the Turtonator, and the Zoroark all perform very different roles, have their own gimmicks. What were you thinking as you were going through the draft, picking up these mons one by one?
Well, since we are still in low tier, I wanted a strong fighting type that could knock off and as a bonus that could pivot. That would be the best. And really, there is only one strong low tier fighting type that does all of that. It's Pessimian.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really high priority in my mind to pick it up.
Yeah.
And after that, I wanted immunities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a bit sad I couldn't grab water immunity,
Mm-hmm.
but I still need electric one to not get cold switched to death.
Right.
So I picked Mudsdale since it's I like my bulky Pokemon to be able to hit very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Mudsdale attack stat is actually very impressive, so I just
Yes.
picked it up along the way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For Zoroark, I really needed speed after that because my team was quite slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed a sweeper, maybe a late game sweeper, and Zoroark is perfect for that. It has special and physical threats. It's a good dark type with knockoff, everything you want, both setup moves.
Mm-hmm.
It can do everything as a just revenge kill and sweeping machine, so that's why I picked it.
Yes.
Turtonator, I'm not sure too much about it. It's where I doubt because I never used it before.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, really needed grass resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a dragon type because another electric resistance was also good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And most dragon types are very, very expensive, and I
Yes.
didn't have the budget for them, or were just plain bad, like not fully evolved
Mm-hmm.
and very weak.
Yep.
So I settled on Turtonator. It has some cool stuff like removal, but I fear it might be a bit weak to knock off because if I play it defensively, I'm kind of forced to bring boots every week.
Mm-hmm.
Until the day I bring a white herb, shell smash, of course, but you
Yep.
never know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite thing about your team and what made it really stand out to me and a lot of people is you drafted an incredibly bulky core of Pokemon, but not a single one of them is passive. Like all of them
Yeah.
can deal so much damage. You've got even when you go down to your lowest cost pick with Lyron, like its body presses coming off that massive stat and potentially being able to Terra Fighting is not something people are just going to switch in comfortably on. And then obviously Sylveon, Mudsdale, two of the best defensive Pokemon in the game, and both of them have massive attack or special attack stats coming off of strong moves. So even if you ran them fully bulky, like if you ran a full bulky team, you know, they are still able to actually do something as far as damage. And Turtonator, I think, is fantastic on your team because it kind of, as you alluded to, it can be that boot support, really just eating hits, resisting hits with no issues, or you could run shell smash and just catch somebody off guard. So I love it. I think you did a fantastic job putting this team together. I think Rotom Wash was, in my mind, I was like, that's an odd pick for first, but now that you've talked about it countering other things and just looking at the rest of your team, it fits better than anything else. And I don't know if you know this, but you caused a cascade of snipes to happen because you took Rotom from Arigimo, who then took Alamomola from Cyber, or no, it was from Cyber, who then had to take Vaporeon, who's now gone. So you've caused a crazy chain reaction, my friend.
Yeah. It was really fun hearing about that, but there was no doubt in my mind that if Rotom Wash made it to 15th pick, it was gone. It was for me.
Yep. Yep. I totally get that. As someone, I had 3 Pokemon locked in my head when I started, when we started the draft. I was like, if any of these 3 make it to me, I'm super happy. Crocodile was the only one that made it to me, and it was one of those 3. So I was like, okay. I mean, I guess if they're gonna give it to me, so if 14 more people are gonna give you the Rotom Wash turn 1, you might as well take it, right?
Exactly. Crocodile looks amazing too on this board, to be fair.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. We don't have to get to my team at the moment, at least, but I like the idea of it just because it's normally banned in low tier. So I really liked the looks of it into this board. Anyway, we can get on to what I've been wanting to ask you for a while, and that is on your Terra Captains. You have 3 of the most fun-looking Terra Captains available. Are you planning on doing the Forbidden Ice Cube Toxic Stall tech where you run both Hail and Snowscape and you can keep getting your snow face back every turn and just be invincible? Or is that too low for you to do?
I mean, that's an option, right? But I think it's very, very gimmicky and not that good in draft games because really it's weak to so much stuff. It's weak to pivoting, it's weak to rapid spin even, it's weak to any special move, it's weak to taunt, it's weak to not hitting IQ. So it pretty much needs a perfect setup for it to work. Of course, when it works, it looks devastating because if you run 4 attack physical moves and no pivoting on a Pokemon that doesn't have U-turn, for example, then Ice Cube looks unbreakable.
Yes.
But so much stuff needs to be done correctly in order to enable Ice Cube to stall that I think it's an option, but it's not really its main goal in this draft.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it has that fantastic setup option in Belly Drum where it can live a hit kind of like a Mimikyu Swords Dance. And if the opponent happens to hit it, then your speed stat just goes absolutely through the roof. But again, that's a little bit gimmicky because your opponent does have to hit Ice Q or it's still chilling at that relatively low speed stat, 50, you're not outrunning a whole lot with the Belly Drum there. But, there's ways around it. I think Ice Q's a really cool pick because it's just such a one-of-a-kind Pokemon.
Yeah, you can force the Belly Drum set a bit with the substitute and the Speed Berry at 25%.
Oh, yeah, true.
There are ways to force your opponent to, if you Sacramon, to bring in Ice Cube and Skaze. They pretty much have to let you Belly Drum or they really, really prepare really hard for it to counter it. Either way, it's usually fine. There are ways around it, but yeah, it's a 6-point month. Yeah. I don't intend on bringing it every week, but definitely when I bring it, I hope it can do a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there with it's a 6-point Pokemon that people are going to have to commit resources and actively think about. They're not just going to be like, oh, I can just run U-turn and run whatever to deal with this. Like, if they run U-turn and haphazardly use it, they might pop your Ice Face, and then you're in a position to sweep them in return. So yeah, it's very high value for the price, but that's not the only Terra Cap you have. So you have the Serene Grace Headbutter in Sawsbuck, and then you have the Lyron, which I'm thinking, was that because I took your Aggron? So absolutely. Tell me a little about those two as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted Aggron so bad. I thought it was the best Terra Captain on the entire board. And my plan B was, how it's called already, Probopass. But both of them were taken in the same round and way too early for my taste. So I kind of scrapped the barrel for another steel type. And when I saw Lyron, it has decent enough stats to be usable with Eviolite, especially as a Terra fighting body press spammer.
Yes.
So, and reliable rocks is always good. So I thought, yeah, it's cheap. It does the job I wanted. A bit worse, of course, but way cheaper.
Yeah.
Let's try it. I think it can do everything I need in this name.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot. It does some things better than Aggron too with the Eviolite. Like, you're actually more specially bulky, and you can do things like Curse or Iron Defense Body Press to a lot more success. It's just those sets are a little more slow to start up, I guess, and Aggron's got a little bit more of that immediate power. I'm glad I took Aggron when I did because I didn't know how many people were eyeballing it. I thought I was super early, and then I saw your message and someone else was like, damn it. So I got lucky there.
Absolutely. Great call. Sawsbuck is a bit different. I wanted a grass type, and around this cheap 6-7 points maybe. And I had my eyes on Leafeon for the longest time, but I just saw Sawsbuck, and they are really cool set now that it got Trailblaze, and I'm kinda pumped to try it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool mon. I think Sylveon definitely has, or sorry, not Sylveon, Leafeon has some similar tools to Sylveon, where if you wanted to run Sylveon more offensive, you could run Leafeon more defensive, vice versa, but I think Sawsbuck definitely brings you a lot of utility as well. It's got, of course, the Serene Grace, but it could also just be a big attacker. I think it actually gets better coverage than Leafeon. Don't quote me on that. I haven't used it in
Probably.
a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't get dark type move like knockoff, but it gets play rough, it gets white charge. Pretty much. You can go whatever you want.
Yeah, high horsepower, and then of course it's got that secondary normal stab, and
Yeah, normal stab is crazy.
yeah, exactly. And then you've got Sap Sipper too. So if somebody thinks is a little too reckless into your team, clicks a grass move into Rotom Wash, you switch in the Sawsbuck, suddenly you're banded and
+1.
another item. Yeah, you get +1 for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. So my low tier really enable my top tier and free them from the grass weakness and all of that.
Yep, exactly. I like that a lot. I think super cohesive team. It definitely works well with each other. You've got all the resist in place to help deal with each other. You've got the pivoting. I love it. I love the team. I don't know why it got so far down on those power rankings, but maybe we'll never know. But I guess
I don't mind.
yeah. I mean, like you said, you know, you kind of like quote unquote underdog now, even though everybody's scared of your team. If some professional says your team's worse than everybody else's, then maybe they don't take you seriously, and you can really prove them wrong.
Yeah, both time I won PGL, I was really, really low on power rankings. And the one or two times I did good in power rankings, I didn't end up winning. So really, I don't mind being dead last. Actually, I'm dead last in power rankings.
Oh yeah,
But I'm fine with that.
yeah. It only makes you stronger. Apparently, you got to get those bad power rankings so you can win the championship. Cool. Well, if we want to take a step back, and instead of just talking all individual Pokemon, how do you like your team overall? Did you get everything you wanted? I know you said you were thinking Leafeon for a long time, switch Sawsbuck. Did you have other original plans that got moved around? And did you have to do any pivoting? Obviously Aggron with the snipes, but did you have to do any other pivoting from things getting taken?
Yeah, the biggest thing is definitely Aggron. It made me pivot every single one of my low budget months. But other than that, I think I got pretty much everything I wanted. I wanted Rotom Wash, I wanted a strong Fairy type, I wanted Passimian, especially Passimian. A good ground type, speed, and Zoroark is amazing for me because, as I said earlier, it's mixed attacker. So I can just adapt every week to what I need. And I think I have a bit of everything, which is exactly what I want.
Yep.
So yeah, I have pretty much. My only doubt is on Turtonator again because I never used this man before. But other than that, I have everything I want. I should be not too bad.
Nice. Yeah, I think it'll be good. And using those new mons kind of mixed into your comfort picks is always fun, because it's like finding places where maybe your similar builds have struggled in the past. You'll have that extra tool in the toolkit. So maybe it can help you out there. So yeah, I mean, with that, we've got your team. We've got 15 other teams. Are any other ones on the board standing out to you as particularly powerful? Scary, I know you've got 2 matchups coming up very soon because you've been on vacation. So you've got a week 1 and a week 2 kind of to do back to back. So either those teams stand out to you, or any other teams on the board?
Both my opponents next week are terrifying to me because Hoetos and J-Scarf are really great players. I tend to struggle a lot against Hoetos, actually. I think I beat him only once out of 5 or 6 games, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, as a play style, I tend to play very conservative, and he always finds a way to punish that very, very heavily. So as a matchup, I'm a bit disadvantaged as a player, but I think his team is really weird too because it has all the bulk and none of the damage.
Yeah.
So it's very, very interesting to prep against that. And J-Scarf on the opposite is exactly the opposite because Starmie, Tinkaton, Diggersby, there is nothing that can switch into that.
No.
But if I somehow manage to get the momentum, I think I can run away with it because it's a very, very top-heavy team. The lower point Pokemons are not that reliable, I think. So I have to find a way to get by the strong ones.
Yep.
It's definitely easier said than done.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe she's a fantastic player too, but maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the games, I think Cram has the best Terra captains of all of them. Probopass plus Crocalor is disgusting.
It really is. Yeah,
It's just
so
disgusting.
much bulk in those two Pokemon is crazy.
And your team also is pretty good, but I don't face you in regular season, I think. So
Oh, lucky
at least I
me.
dodged this one. At least I dodged this one.
Yeah, at least until playoffs. We both make playoffs. They might turn around on us. But yeah, that's the good news to me.
Yeah.
I'm playing enough good players this season already. I don't need to add you to the list.
Exactly the same. I feel the same.
Yeah. So yeah, all great call outs. Your first 2 weeks, that's brutal. Playing, a ton of bulk, having to try to out offense or out bulk that into immediately a ton of offense is crazy. So wishing you the best on those. I know that that's going to be a really exciting couple games to watch. I hope you have enough time to do some decent prep for those, because I know that vacations tend to run into that, but I'm sure you're going to do fantastic either way. You're going to bring your best, and playing against you always difficult in my experience.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So on the board, there's a lot of Pokemon that were left undrafted in that first group. I know as of this interview, week 1 has technically just ended, and we saw a ton of transactions being made. So we, given those, or with or without those, are there any Mons on this board that stand out to you that you're surprised didn't get taken? Like maybe the Feraligatr, you took the Rotom to kind of beat the Feraligatr, and no one even took the Feraligatr. So are there things like that or otherwise that really stand out to you as surprising they didn't go?
I don't mind the 20 points Pokemon that are not drafted, because I think they are difficult to play at the full potential. Especially Pokemon like Armarouge, because offensive fire types, you always want some kind of offensive item to bring the most out of them, but half the time you just get punished by Stealth Rocks.
Yes.
So it's very, very hard to bring, even though it's probably one of the best offensive Pokemon in the entire world. I was also surprised by Gyarados making it through, but he just got picked up in transaction.
Yep, to no one's surprise.
No, absolutely not. I think Kilowatcher was also very good, very speedy. I think Munkidori is absolutely strong and could, if someone wants to pick it, it could run away with some games by itself.
Yeah, I saw your discussion with Holotos you had sent me on potential first rounds in the Munkidori discourse. So yeah, that one's surprising too, because it is very strong.
Yeah, it has everything. It has a bit of bulk, not too much, but it's really speedy. It has pivoting, a great offensive type. Grounded Poison is always nice, a good niche to have too. I think it can do a lot. It has even some coverage.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that it can run fully offensive sets and still land toxics on things without wasting turns.
Yeah.
If a steel type or a poison type doesn't switch in, every move's got a 30% chance of just poisoning anyway. So like it's a very underrated stall breaker in my opinion, if you can get around the steel types.
Yeah, that's a nightmare to play against, I think.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't have to.
At least for now. Now next week we might see it get taken after all the talk about it, but we'll see. I'm glad no one's taken it so far, because I don't want to deal with that either. So maybe it just stays undrafted and we're okay with that. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you taking time immediately after your vacation to sit and talk with me about all this. I've really been looking forward to this one. But I do have one more question for you. Oh, great. It is, do you have any final thoughts, comments, anything you want to say to your fellow coaches and to the viewers before we sign off, potentially for the last time?
Good luck, everyone. First, I think it is a great season with many great coaches. I hope everyone can play something they like and enjoy it. And of course, I'll come for your head in regular season, in playoff, all the way to the finals. And let's try to be the first to make it to 3 titles,
Yeah.
as always.
Oh, absolutely. You could be a record setter. You could have those 3 titles in the PGL, which would be insane. I know you're going to be one of the people to beat, but we have so many strong contenders this season. We've had some newcomers come out the gate swinging. So I'm super excited to see how this season turns out. Maybe we see some streams along the way, see some people coming back to help me narrate those streams, rewatch some of the big moments that happen in the draft once we get a few weeks worth of games. Maybe we can have you back then if time allows. I know we're a little bit apart on time zones, but love to see you again sometime, and wishing you the best in the season.
Yeah, you too. Good luck, everyone.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here, and thank you all for watching. And we will see you all sometime soon.
See ya.